Welcome to Community Connections. I'm Lori Matway, and joining me today is Vicki Kohler. She's the project manager for Project Aware. Is that correct? Thank you for joining us today. We're going to talk a little bit about the recognition Pinellas County had just recently at 2 of our schools from Sandy Hook Promise. Can you tell us a little bit more about Sandy Hook Promise?
I would love to. Sandy Hook Promise is a nonprofit organization. It is national, and it is led by families of victims of the tragedy that occurred in Sandy Hook.
So why is it important for Pinellas County Schools to be involved in Sandy Hook Promise?
It's important for Pinellas County Schools to be involved in Sandy Hook Promise because it gives us the opportunity to educate our youth on knowing the signs when a friend may be at risk for harming themselves or harming someone else.
Thank you. Well, I had the pleasure of interviewing Nicole Headley she's a co-founder with Sandy Hook Promise, and when we talked to her, she talked about how it got started and just what's important about Sandy Hook and why schools should be involved. Okay. Nicole, can you tell us a little bit about Sandy Hook Promise, how it started, and what message you're hoping to get out to families and parents?
Sure. I helped launch Sandy Hook Promise 1 month after the shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School, where both of my children were present and my youngest son, Dylan, was killed. And for me, Sandy Hook Promise is about how do we prevent these tragedies from happening and how do we keep families and communities and kids safe. And so our mission is to prevent gun violence and all forms of violence before it happens by teaching students and adults and educators how do you recognize the signs of someone who's at risk and then take action and intervene to get that person help.
And thank you, and I'm so sorry for your loss. And we appreciate what you've done to bring this to Pinellas County Schools. We've taken it from all of our middle and high schools, but Madiera Beach Fundamental is being recognized today. Tell us about that and why were they selected?
I'm really excited to be here at Madiera Beach Fundamental because it was one of the best applications we saw for the Start With Hello week, where thousands upon thousands of schools registered across the country to take part in 1 week of really bringing Start With Hello to their school and their community. And Madiera Beach Fundamental stood out because of all of the activities they did, the way that they really engaged the students and the educators together, the You Mean Something wall, all the things they did in the cafeteria, the weekly activities they did, and the additional activities that we know that the administrators are doing to keep this alive throughout the school year. It's just very exciting to be here. The part of running Sandy Hook Promise that I love the most is when I'm actually out in the schools dealing with the kids. And today we're talking to 7th and 8th graders, for example, and my son Dylan would be in 7th grade today had he survived. So it's always exciting to work with kids that are the same age as my children, but also just to see how excited they get about knowing that they can make a difference, that the superhero powers that they have within them. They want to be helpful. They want to look out for each other. They want to keep each other safe. They just need reminding of what those tools are. So talking to the kids, seeing them get excited about simple acts like smiling at someone, saying hello, and understanding that they know that that can make a big difference to someone else, that's important, just unlocking those powers that these kids already have inside them. He would be in 7th grade right now, had he lived.
So Nicole's message, how powerful. I mean, coming from the tragedy of losing her own son, Dylan, but then getting with the other co-founders to develop Sandy Hook Promise. And the powerful message to me was that she is inspired by the students. She was inspired by their shirts, the Start With Hello. And I just I felt like it was credit to Madiera Beach Fundamental and their students and staff and what a culture they've developed.
Yes, thankfully, and it's really been a wonderful example of what Sandy Hook is all about. It's about changing climate and culture in our schools so that our children take ownership of making their environment safe and being a part of that, and really encouraging each other to be upstanders and take care of each other.
Right, and the messages that they had to each other to make sure that they never felt alone. Very inspiring. So next we're going to talk to Chris Ateek, the principal of Madiera Beach Fundamental, and his passion and commitment for being recognized and why it was important to his school to be recognized by Sandy Hook Promise.
I want you to finish this sentence. Ready? Character is... Character is who you are when nobody's watching. That is right.
So, Mr. Atik, what does this award mean to you, and what has it done to change the culture at your school?
It's nice to be nice, and so it's infectious. And simple acts of kindness have spread across our campus, and you're seeing it in all the classrooms and in the hallways. And it's nice to be nice, and so it spreads.
So, what about this recognition? What does it mean to your school?
It means a lot because it justifies what we've been doing for 10 years. Just finding teachable moments and to use those teachable moments and infuse that throughout your day in the hallways and in the classrooms and in the car line, and it's a culture.
Well, Chris, he's an amazing administrator, of course, so the importance of having leadership that believes in the program and how powerful that is. But next we're going to hear from two of the students at Madiera Beach Fundamental, because that's exciting that they have really taken ownership of it.
Yes.
So Lonnie, Madiera Beach Fundamental has been recognized nationally for the work you did with Starts With Hello. So you can tell us a little bit about what your school did to be recognized.
Okay, so Start With Hello, we pushed kindness at our school even before we came up with Hello, and we just wanted to bring people up instead of tearing them down. Even if they're having a good day or a bad day, we want to say hello and bring people up. And we also want to make sure those who are sad or they're not having a great day, we want them to feel like they can be brought up, they can be happy. And we have done many activities to show this. We did in art class, we wrote with chalk all over the floors, we wrote kindness notes, we made shirts, we sat with other kids at lunch that we normally wouldn't sit at. And we also like to bring people in. Even at lunch, we have a saying that nobody eats alone. And that means that we want to bring people in that are maybe sitting by themselves or are trying to sit with a friend group, but we like to bring them in and say, you can come sit with us. And we try to bring people up. We try to meet new people. And hello is we like to meet new friends. We might meet someone that we never even thought would be our friend, but we want to bring other people up, and we want to share as a community, and this is like a safe place. This is home. This is our family. You know, we like to spread kindness here.
That's wonderful. And tell us a little bit about your shirt, because you designed this.
Yes. So my shirt, I put a bunch of different kindness quotes on it that I thought went with our school. So one of them says, always be a little kinder than necessary. And I believe that everybody is here. We always try to bring people up and be kind to people. And I feel like we're already kind, but we just want to be even kinder. And I also think that be the reason someone smiles, because we always want to see people smiling instead of frowning. We want to bring people up and bring sunshine to the beach.
You did a fantastic job. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Right, so Joshua, tell us how Start With Hello has changed the culture here at Madiera Beach Fundamental.
So the Start With Hello program changed the culture here because it made people think more about what they say and what they do. So our detention rate has gone down from what it started before we did Hello Week, and it just makes people feel happy about themselves because that person that walks by in the hall says hi or something like that. So the Hello shirts, they're you get to customize them however you want, and they're personalization, and everyone has to sign them, so no one gets left out signing them, and it's just, and no one has any worry about coming to school with your Hello shirt, because there's no judging on Hello Shirt Day. So sitting at your own tables, which I think was really fun because it was no one really knew each other, so you got to it was the first day of school all over again, where you got to reintroduce yourself to everybody that you sat with. And then the Mix It Up bingo was you sat randomly in classrooms, and then you just had to turn and talk to whoever was next to you, and you did that 3 or 4 times until you knew 4 4 new people that you didn't have any clue who they were before you started. And then the last activity was okay. But yeah, I think the Start with Hello week has really changed our school a lot, just because everyone's nicer. I think the Start with Hello week started to brighten people's days more. Like if they were having trouble at home, they could come to school and have that person to talk to because they got introduced to them.
So Josh, have you had an opportunity to see the Sandy Hook app, or would you use the app if necessary?
Yes, I would use the app because there's some situations where people are getting themselves into a bit of a situation where they can't help themselves. They have to turn to someone just to say something and just get it out so they don't keep it up, because that builds up stress and then that just adds on to the problem.
So why is Sandy Hook Promise working so well at our elementary and middle schools?
Well, at the elementary level, I believe it's because really everyone wants to be included, and that is the message of Start with Hello. It's all about inclusion, really stepping up to someone and saying hello and maybe engaging in an icebreaker and building a friendship. I think that students are welcoming that warmth and really want that for their environment in their schools. And in middle and high schools, I really believe that the Say Something program in the middle and high schools, particularly the anonymous reporting app, is going to provide them another avenue to report concerns in an anonymous way, and it ensures them that their friends and themselves are being taken care of.
Well, just from my 18 years at a middle school and working with middle school students, I think it's important that they have someone that they connect with. And I think the importance of start with hello and saying there's someone here that you can connect with, because they seem so isolated. And again, the anonymous app, being able to report something and not being able to, or not feeling like they have been held accountable for something, but I care about you and I need to tell someone else about it, a caring adult. So we have the opportunity next to look at the program at Northeast High School. When we come back, we'll go to Northeast High School. Community Connections will return.